Virgo, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Virgo love reading. Now, if this is your first time here and you have questions that you want answered about your romantic love life or your relationship, then start now by subscribing and clicking on that little bell icon so you always get notified anytime I post a new Virgo tarot reading for you. Now let's get on with this Virgo love reading today for the end of April 2023, because today we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest. I'm going to do that by getting one card to represent the mutual point of interest between the two of you here in April 2023. Then I'm going to get 3 cards for you, Virgo, 3 cards for your person, and then I'm going to clarify everything with the second deck, just to make sure we can get down to the bottom of the unknown truth about what's really going on in this love connection of yours. So enough yakking, let's get on with it. We're ready to talk mutual point of interest. What's going on with you, Virgo, as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them here at the end of April 2023. Thanks. This deck is talkative today. What's going on with your person, Virgo? What's going on with Virgo's romantic person of interest as it relates to Virgo and the connection between them here at the end of April 2023? Thank you. All right. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading, 2 of Swords. This is Libra energy. 2s are decisions. This represents a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made for some reason. Whether that's someone doesn't have enough information to decide yet, or if there's something that someone can't see and that's preventing them from deciding something. A lot of times this can end up being something that a person doesn't want to see, that they're in denial about something. They don't want to face something. They don't want to admit that something's going on, or they don't want that to be true. So they're keeping the blinders on purpose, and like that's preventing them from making a decision. Sometimes it can represent that there's a decision that needs to be made, but it's just not your decision, so you can't decide. Right under that, I have more Libra energy of the 4 of Swords. This is about taking a pause, taking a rest, taking a break. This is about choosing to go inside yourself and do some healing, or to do some thinking about something, like trying to stabilize your thoughts, stabilize your mind, calm your mind down so you can receive like the messages and the guidance that you need to be able to figure out what to do moving forward from here. And right under that, I got more Swords. Not what I want to see starting off a love reading here. Swords is not the thing you want. It's usually not a great sign. King of Swords, this is either Gemini or Aquarius energy. This is a decision-making energy, which is kind of funny because we got a decision that needs to be made and it's not being made. It could be that we're on some kind of a pause or a break in the connection, or someone's just trying to figure out what to do about a decision that's not being made. And under all of that, I have a decision maker. This is usually a very smart, very logical, very analytical, reasoning, conscious mind thinking kind of a person here. It's someone, though, that when they are making their decisions, they're very emotionally detached when they do that. They don't consult their emotions or their intuition when they decide things. They're looking at the truth and the facts of the matter. What can I see right in front of me? What can I verify that I know is true already? And I'm going to make the decision based on the truth and the facts of the matter, what common sense would tell me, what my logical mind is telling me, and I'm not listening to the emotions here. One more sword underneath that. This is the sword of victory, the sword of truth, the sword of clarity. Sometimes it's the sword you make a decision with here. Like the word decision, the Latin word decision comes from, literally means to cut off, as in to cut off the other options until you're only left with one option. And that is in fact how a decision gets made. So we've got some sort of a decision here going on. It hasn't been made yet. And it's looking like it's probably your person's decision, and they're approaching it from like a cold, calculated perspective here is what it's kind of looking like. Now, sometimes this is the sword you would use to sever a relationship. Sometimes it's the sword you would use to cut away something that's not in balance, so balance can be restored. Not 100%. This is looking like a decision to end something here. and it hasn't actually been made yet. I've got Death right under that. This is the Scorpio Major Arcana card. This is an ending to something. This is something dying so that it can be reborn again in a different way. Sometimes this is just like the ending of a connection. Sometimes this is like some very painful transition period, a painful transformation process that's taken place, where something is ending and being replaced somewhere else. That's the overall gist of what it looks like this is going to talk to me about. We'll probably come back to this more as we go along. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way as we go through the end of April 2023, Virgo. Doesn't always affect you both the same way, but the shared energy that's affecting you guys is the moon. This is Pisces energy. This is an energy of fear, worry, anxiety, usually based on uncertainty. Like when the moon's out, it's dark outside, you can't see the full path in front of you. There's stuff that's hidden in the dark, you can't see everything. And that level of uncertainty can cause anxiety and fear and worry. It's something like, you know, am I on the right path or not? Is this the path I'm supposed to be going down? Did I make a mistake and turn the wrong direction? Should I stop and go back the other way? It's like that level of uncertainty because not everything can be fully seen. Now, sometimes this card can represent something being hidden in the dark, as in some secret being kept. So let's clarify this, see what we can find out for you. Why is the moon the mutual point of interest between Virgo and their romantic person of interest here at the end of April 2023, please? Why is the moon here? Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, Six of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. This is a card of balance. It's generosity, it's reciprocity, like you scratch my back, I scratch your back, you take care of me, I take care of you. This is usually a card of balance and like equal give and take in a connection. Either there's some uncertainty and some fear and worry and anxiety about the balance and whether it can be balanced back out, whether that's the decision that's going to be made. The negative side of the Six of Pentacles is it can represent the merchant giving to two, as in someone having another person that they're also giving to physically. I have the Ace of Wands right underneath that. This is the spark of passion. It's like the spark of desire. This is a passionate new beginning in passion and desire. The wand is the phallic symbol of the tarot deck, so it represents the male phallus, using it to be intimate, sexual energy, sex, things of that nature. And then I have the star right under that, which is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of healing. It's a card of hope. It's also card 17 of the Major Arcana. It's the card that comes immediately after the Tower in the sequence of the Major Arcana. So you don't make it to the star energy without going through a Tower moment of some kind first. The Tower is when something important in your life collapses, like it just falls apart right in front of you, and it's like a game changer. It's like nothing's the same after the Tower happens. And even though I don't have the Tower physically on the table yet, I know one has happened because the star is here. When the Tower collapses, it's really hard to see your way moving forward from there, which is why we've got someone with a blindfold on trying to make a decision that they can't make, someone who's gone inside themselves to try to stabilize their mind and their thoughts, trying to figure out what to do moving forward. This is the guiding light from the universe that shows up after the Tower to light the way for you so you can see your path moving forward. This is where hope comes from. It's where healing comes from. So even though I know there's been a collapse here and there's been some sort of a problematic thing happen, potentially around the merchant giving to two. Now, I guess the other meaning to this could be something bad has happened and there's this underlying hope that we can heal this, that we can like balance this back out and re-spark the connection. And that decision hasn't been made. And although this could very well be someone was giving to two and following their wand and letting the wand start some passionate new thing, and that's caused a problem, and there's still this underlying hope that that can be fixed. I've got the Chariot right under that. This is the Cancer Major Arcana card. I've seen a lot of Major Arcana already. This is a card that, like, at its core is about using the will to get past problems and challenges and obstacles and roadblocks that are in the way. Just getting past all that stuff through sheer will alone, and then moving forward very fast in success and victory. This is the fastest energy in the deck, when the driver is in alignment. He doesn't have reins to connect himself to these beasts that pull the chariot. He uses sheer will alone to power this, to steer it, to control it. So if the driver is not fully in alignment, if all parts of him are not pulling in the same direction, this thing isn't the fastest energy in the deck. It either doesn't go anywhere and it's every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man, or worse yet, the dark side, will pull one way, the light side will pull the other way, and it will tear itself in half as it tries to move forward. So we've got this underlying energy of hope that obstacles can be overcome and that this can be healed and put back together and balanced out, but there's still this also underlying energy of potentially someone giving to two and following the wand and causing a tower moment, and this could indicate that you are pulling one way and they are pulling a different way, and the connection has kind of torn itself apart. I'm clarifying the moon here, which is uncertainty about all of that, fear, worry, and anxiety about all of that, but it can also represent some secret has been kept here regarding someone giving to two and having some sort of a passionate new beginning. That could be why I'm seeing the Two of Swords here, where someone has a decision to make about which of these two people am I going to continue to give to and which one am I going to get rid of, and that decision just hasn't been made. When I clarify the moon, I get the King of Swords again, the Nine of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. So I've already seen the King of Swords here. It's 3 cards down in the overall energy. This is the person who has the decision to make, and they're not accessing their emotions here. They're very emotionally detached. They're looking at the truth and the facts of the matter, and they're trying to make their decision based on what can I see right in front of me, what do I already know to be true, let me add the numbers up, make sure the math is correct on all this, and I'll decide that way. Very like logical, not emotional at all. Then I've got the 9 and the 10 of Wands in order. So this is like escalating energy here. This is things progressing. The 9 of Wands is Sagittarius energy of being walled off and defensive about something. That's the wounded warrior, and he's been hurt, hence the wall he's built around himself. Now, sometimes this can just represent there's a wall in the way between the two of you. There's some obstacle in the way. It can also represent that someone has been hurt here, and their wall has now come up as a defense mechanism. That's the reason for his wall. He's been hurt. He doesn't want to get hurt again. He doesn't want to continue to get hurt because he's trying to heal. He's trying to get his energy right so he can move forward and take the next step in his journey here. It's directly under the moon, though. So this is like fear, worry, and anxiety around getting past this obstacle. It can be fear, worry, and anxiety. It could be secrets have been kept and that has gotten you hurt here. Final card I have is the 10 of Wands, more Sagittarius energy. This represents a heavy burden that's being carried here that's affecting both of you in some way. This is a 10 though, and 10s are completions. So this is supposed to be the completion of the heavy burden. In other words, getting to the spot where the burden can be laid down and you can move forward without it. That's the shared energy that's affecting you both here at the end of April 2023, Virgo. Not uncommon at this point that I don't fully understand exactly what this is telling me, although it looks like I got a relatively decent idea about that. I will come back to this as I go through your energy, Virgo, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to you. I'll come back to it again as I go through your person's energy, because then I can see how it applies to them. But your energy in this connection for the end of April 2023 is Judgment, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Hermit. Judgment. This is a powerful major arcana card. This is a final verdict and judgment being passed here. In a love reading, this is a final decision about the connection itself. Is this relationship dead and over with, or can this be resurrected? Can it be brought back from the grave, brought back from the dead, brought back to life, and transformed in a way so that it's never going to be this way again? Tell me more about Judgment. Why is that the first card in Virgo's energy here, please? Why is Judgment? Okay, we'll take it. Yep, knew it was coming. Bottom of the deck, Four of Swords. Again, I've already seen this. It's the second card down in the shared, or in the mutual, the overall energy. Again, this is Virgo energy of taking a pause, taking a rest, taking a break. It's about going inside yourself to calm your mind, to calm your thoughts, to stabilize that stuff, and to try to figure out what to do moving forward. It's an energy of healing. I've seen it twice. I've got another card here that indicates something needs to be healed. I saw the Star, which is another card of healing. So there's definitely been some sort of a painful thing happen where it looks like you have been hurt. Right under the Four of Swords, I've got the Knight of Wands. This is the second fastest moving knight in the deck. This is like someone who rushes forward and takes this rapid, passionate action on something they have passion and desire for. This can be like a really wishy-washy bullshit kind of an energy. This can be someone who comes rushing in all passionately and they're gung-ho about something that they say they want, and then for some reason they change their mind and they pull back and they go a different direction. This can also, a lot of times it gets referred to as the player of the tarot deck, so it can represent someone with a player energy, a player mentality, player actions that they take, where they come rushing in all passionately and get what they want from you, but then they rush somewhere else and all passionately and get what they want there, and then they can come back and forth trying to play both sides of the fence. Either way, this is not the best energy that you could have here. Like this could be that there's a pause and a break in the connection because someone was being a player. It could be there's a pause and a break in a connection because someone can't make up their mind and stay fully committed to what they say they want without backpedaling off of that. I've got the Eight of Pentacles under that. This is Virgo energy of work. It's like putting in the work, putting in the time, effort, and energy on something to get what you want, or at the very least having the willingness to put that work in. Now this could be saying that there's a decision that needs to be made here and it hasn't been made, and it's a final decision about the connection. Whether it's your decision or not, I don't know. You would think, logically that it would be your decision because this is your first card. But a lot of times in my readings, what happens is your first card, which is always the most important, ends up being your person's energy showing up on your side of the table because what's going on with them is affecting you so strongly. But there's definitely some decision that needs to be made about this connection, and this looks like the connection is on a pause or a break, which is sometimes what people call it when there's a breakup, but we're not officially labeling it a breakup. We're just on a break right now. And if there's player activity going on during that break, well, a lot of times this will give a person that free ride to go do whatever they want, because after all, we're on a break right now. So I'm not sure, but underlying that kind of wishy-washy energy is this energy of putting in the work on something. Three of Swords is under that, more Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness from a third energy. Now that third energy is not always a person, although it can be, and it's even when it is a person, it's not always a romantic third party, although it definitely can be. That third energy can be any number of things. Like anything we humans do enough of is going to pick up its own energy. Anything we pour enough of our own time, effort, and energy into is going to pick up its own energy. So this literally could be work is getting in the way, career is getting in the way, causing some heartbreaking situation to happen. Could be something that your person is working on or that you are working on that's causing that. It could literally be a third party that they work with or something along those lines. But there's definitely this energy of the willingness to put the work in on something, and underlying all that is this heartbreaking, sad thing that is from an external source. Got the Hermit here, Virgo's major arcana card. I've got the Hermit out here already as your final card in your energy. So this is a card of withdrawal and isolation. This is like communication shutting down, or if not shutting down completely, it's vastly different than it was before. It's like much shorter and it's different. This is a card of like someone being forced to go inside themselves to do some soul searching, to do some deep inner reflection, some deep contemplation, trying to figure out what to do moving forward from here. It's actually the major arcana version of this Four of Swords that we've seen twice now. So this is, again, escalating energy, going from the Four of Swords. Like the key difference between these is the Four of Swords is a choice. This is someone choosing to go inside themselves, to do some thinking about something, to figure out what to do moving forward. The Hermit, no one voluntarily chooses hermit mode. This is something happens and it forces you into hermit mode. What usually happens is the Tower or Death or the Ten of Swords or the Five of Swords or the Seven of Swords or the Three of Swords. I've seen Death. I've seen Judgment. I've got the Tower out here now, which I'm getting ahead of myself. I saw the star, so I knew a Tower was coming. I've got the Three of Swords here. We got something going on that's forced you inside yourself to do some soul searching, to try and figure out what to do about this connection. Is it dead and over, or can it be resurrected? When I clarify Judgment, I get the Eight of Swords, the Tower, and the Six of Cups. The Eight of Swords is Gemini energy. This is an energy of being stuck in your head about something, thinking about something over and over and over again on this repeating loop in your mind, and not being able to quiet your mind, not being able to shut that repeating loop off. This is someone who can't see everything around them, hence the blindfold. I've got that blindfold represented here in the overall energy, the shared energy affecting you both. Something is not seen, something that you don't know about, something's hidden in the dark, potentially a secret being kept. This is you grinding on that and not being sure what's the safe step to take here, what's the safe move to make, and feeling stuck and trapped and blocked because you don't know what the safe step to take is, hence the thinking about it over and over again. This is like grinding on something. This is overthinking something. This is also sometimes a self-imposed mental prison of your own thoughts, where the way you're thinking about something is making it so that you feel like you can't see what's going on. It's making you feel like there is no safe step to take here. And the way you're thinking about it and representing it in your mind is making it actually worse. Like the example I usually give in personal readings is like this can be a limiting belief that you have in your mind that's not actually true. So like think about that cartoon Dumbo, like the Disney cartoon Dumbo, the elephant with the big giant ears. And remember, the little mouse at the circus convinces him that he can fly because his ears are so big. But in order to convince him that, he gives him that magic feather. And as long as he's got that magic feather, he can fly like a beast. The problem is he loses the feather. And now that he's lost the feather, he gets it in his mind that I can't fly without the feather. And he sinks like a rock every time he tries. And then the mouse is like trying to convince him, like, dude, the feather was bullshit anyway. You don't need the feather. It's your ears that are doing this. And he has to work really hard to get him out of that self-imposed mental prison, that limiting belief of I can't fly without the feather. So this is something similar to that here. Like there's potentially some belief that you have that's not actually true, that's keeping you trapped and stuck here. And it's possible. I've seen this King of Swords twice. A lot of times those limiting beliefs that we have don't even belong to us. They belong to somebody else, and they've planted that seed in our mind and it started to grow. And it's like one day you walk out in your backyard and there's a whole fucking tree in your backyard and you're like, well, where did this tree come from? This isn't my tree. Well, it must be my tree. It's in my backyard. So beliefs are the same way. People can say things and plant those seeds of a belief in your mind, and then one day you've got this full-blown tree of a belief in your mind, and well, it must be mine because it's in my mind and it's my belief now, but it wasn't your belief to begin with. It was someone else's belief. That's entirely possible too. Take that however it resonates for you. Next, to clarify Judgment, I have the Tower. Again, this is the collapse of something important in your life. Some important structure you've created in your life has now fallen apart right in front of your eyes. Sometimes this is the collapse of the relationship. Sometimes this is a metaphor for the collapse of a belief system that you have. In other words, some mental model of the world you were operating from. And I thought this particular relationship was this way, and I thought this person was this way, and I had those beliefs around what was going to happen between the two of us, and now something has changed to just shatter that belief right in front of your eyes. Could be why I'm seeing this stuck, trapped, and blocked energy where I can't get my mind off of something here, and I don't know what's going on. I mentioned self-limiting belief, and it could be that you had a belief and that belief collapsed and now it's been replaced by something that's limiting you. Final card I have to clarify judgment is the Six of Cups. This is Scorpio energy of the past. It's thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past, thinking about the good old days and the way things used to be between the two of you. This can represent a deep emotional connection that has some history to it. It can even represent someone from the past making a comeback here. That could be any number of things. The past is kind of a relative term, like technically 3 seconds ago is in the past. So hard to tell what this is. This could be your person is the person from the past and you're reminiscing about them because the tower has collapsed and you're thinking about a decision that needs made and you're carrying the burden of it having not been made and you're trying to figure out what to do here. It could be that your person got into something with someone from their past, whether that's a person that they used to be with before you or just some other person that they know for a certain amount of time, like they have some sort of a history with them. In other words, not brand new person, but person that they've already been in contact with in some way, whether that's a coworker or a friend or just an acquaintance. It's not a new person here. It could just be you're stuck in your head grinding on the past and reminiscing about the way things used to be because the tower has collapsed. Central to your energy here in April 2023, Virgo, is the Ten of Pentacles, Virgo energy. This is maximum stability, maximum abundance, maximum prosperity. This is most people's goal in the physical reality. This would be like the combining together of two people or two families and all their assets and all their resources, combining it all together into one. So this would usually be like living together or being married or at least going down a path toward those things here. Tell me about the Ten of Pentacles. Why is that central to Virgo's energy here at the end of April 2023? It's funny. It's not always just the cards that come out that tell me stuff. Sometimes it's the cards that are missing that tell me things. Sometimes cards will flip over as I'm shuffling and show themselves to me, but then go right back in the deck and not actually come out. That happened right there. I saw the Empress come out. Well, she flipped over, showed herself to me, and then went right back in the deck. So the Empress would represent the birth of something new. Okay. Didn't come out though, which tells me that that is part of the secret that was being kept here. On the bottom of the deck, Four of Swords again. So I've seen that on the bottom of the deck twice in a row for you now. It's the second card down in the overall energy. So this is Libra energy of taking a pause, taking a rest, taking a break, going inside yourself to do some healing, to stabilize your mind, to calm your thoughts down so that you can figure out what to do moving forward from here. The Hermit, the major arcana version of that card. Again, I've seen it last time too. It's the next card I'm going to clarify for you next. Virgo major arcana energy here. So you're in Hermit mode. Like the key thing about the Hermit, other than this isn't a choice, like something happens to force you there, is he has the star in his lantern. We've seen the star already. It's the card that comes after the tower. It's that light from the universe to light the way for you. He uses the lantern to shine that light down inside of himself and analyze himself and figure out what do I need to adjust about myself so that I can move forward the way I want to. Your focus is directed at you here for some reason. Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy. You're definitely focusing on you. This is feeling an awful lot like you're blaming yourself for what happened here, even though things were being hidden from you. You're grinding on it, and there's something that you're not seeing, and some false belief that you have, probably why you're aiming all of your focus at yourself here. And when you're not aiming your focus at yourself, you're aiming your focus at the past. And I see that very clearly right here too. But this is that energy of putting in the work and the time and the effort and the energy, probably to try to put this together. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. And when I clarify this 10 of Pentacles, I get the 7 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 3 of Swords, and the Devil. 7 of Swords is Aquarius energy of lying, cheating, stealing, deceptive behavior, sneaking around behind your back, trying to get away with something that they shouldn't be trying to get away with. This is not the only meaning of the card, although I feel pretty strongly that that is something that's happened here. The other two meanings of this, the first other meaning would be self-preservation, as in like, I don't want to be hurt, which is why the dude on the card is stealing the swords. He doesn't want to be hurt by these swords, so he steals those to make sure that he can't be hurt by those swords. So it can be self-preservation, not wanting to get hurt. It can also represent leaving something behind, because he can only carry 5 swords, and he has to leave the other 2 swords behind. It's sitting directly beside the 8 of Swords. So again, I've got backwards energy going now. I saw escalating energy here, but I've got backwards energy going here. And it's tied to this idea of combining lives together. This is also, this sneaky, deceptive, sneaking around kind of behavior is also tied to combining lives together. So this could be a case where you guys are married and they were sneaking around, or you lived together and they were sneaking around, or you were going down the path toward living together and they were sneaking around. 5 of Cups is next, which is again backwards moving energy here from this 6 of Cups. These are both Scorpio energy. They're both about the past. This is thinking about the past and reminiscing about the past and the way it used to be and the person from the past. This is a person who has their focus in the wrong spot. This is about sadness and remorse. It's about being focused on these 3 cups that have been spilled, and all the love and emotion that has been spilled and wasted, all the time, effort, and energy that's been spilled and wasted. And we've seen that time, effort, and energy with this 8 of Pentacles a couple of times at least already. This is someone who has their focus in the wrong spot, because they do have 2 upright, completely full cups behind them. They have something they could be happy about, but that doesn't have their focus. Right now, their focus is on the past. And that's at its core what this card is really about. Where a person's focus goes literally dictates to them what emotions they experience. So if you're focused on the past, you're going to feel what you felt in the past. If you focus on something that you've lost, you're going to feel the loss. And if you focus on something you think's missing from your life, you're going to feel that gap in your life. And that can cause you to miss opportunities that lie behind you because you're not focused there. It's laying right beside the Tower. So something has happened. It looks to me like they did some sneaking around behind your back, kept things a secret, had a decision to make they weren't making, probably still have a decision to make on that, and they're not making it. That could be another thing that's going on here. Because your very first card is Judgment, it could be telling me that it's their decision that they need to make, a final decision, and it's affecting you. It could also be telling me that you're stuck in your head in this limiting belief that it's really their decision and there's nothing you can do, which is why you're stuck, trapped, and blocked. But that's not actually true either. You have the power to decide. You have the power to pass a judgment on this. And it looks like right now you're hurt and you're carrying the burden of they haven't made a decision yet other than to do stuff they shouldn't have done. And in reality, you could just as easily make the decision yourself and decide that this isn't for me anymore. I don't think that's what you want to do, though, because there's that underlying energy of putting in the work, time, effort, and energy on this, and this energy of holding on to it and not wanting to let go of it. But there's definitely, you're feeling negative, low vibrational energies here based on what has happened and what you're choosing to focus on. Next, I have the 3 of Swords. Seen it already, Libra energy. I've seen the 2 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, and the 4 of Swords. That's all Libra energy. See, I've got Gemini energy out here. Got some Scorpio energy out here a couple times. I've seen Aquarius a couple of times. A little bit of Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo. Gemini, Aquarius, Scorpio. On this side of the table, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got a couple of Leo cards and more Sagittarius out here. You could be dealing with any of those signs. This is a general collective reading, so you could literally be dealing with any sign. I'm not tapping into your specific energy as an individual person the same way I would if I were doing a personal reading for you specifically. So right now I'm tapping into collective energy of a large group of thousands of Virgo people that I'm responsible for getting messages for. So it's going to be almost impossible for me to pin down exactly who you were dealing with any level of real certainty on my end. So I'm just going to keep calling out all these signs as they stick out to me, just in case they mean anything to you. But this is heartbreak and sadness from a third energy. I've got sadness and remorse, about 3 cups that have been spilled out. 3 cups of love here. Potential, definitely, that we've got somebody sneaking around. I've seen the player energy a couple of times. In fact, if I go down right below this energy of you wanting to hold on to it and not let go of it, there's a player. And there's the 5 of Pentacles, which is abandonment. This is a breakup card. This is being cast aside, left out in the cold. Final card to clarify the 10 of Pentacles is the Devil, Capricorn's major arcana card. This is heavy, toxic energy here. This is obsession. This is addiction. This is a feeling of being trapped by something, feeling like I can't escape from something, feeling like something's got control of me. I don't have control of it. These are the same 2 people on the Lovers card here. So this would indicate that the relationship itself has some level of toxic energy to it, some toxicity to it. These are the people from the Lovers card, but here they've got chains around their neck and they're chained to the podium the devil sits on, and they've grown horns and tails. So being in this toxic energy has distorted who they are. It's got you in all these negative, low vibrational energies here. It can also indicate that this connection has such pull to it that I feel like I can't break free from it. Like I feel like I can't escape from it. Like I'm bound to it in some way. Maybe energetically, I don't know. But this is not a healthy spot to be in here. Definitely. Now this can represent an element of a person's shadow. In other words, like a piece of themselves that they don't like, whether that applies to you or your person or both of you at the same time. If this is your person, they can have some toxic traits to them that cause them to be this player type of an energy here, that cause them to follow the wand, so to speak, and do stuff like they have all these urges inside of them that they're not in control of. Those urges dictate policy to them, and they just do what they're told when the urges happen. This could just as easily be you have some healing to do on something. This almost always comes from a pain that a person has gone through at some point in their past, and they've never actually properly addressed what happened to them. They haven't properly addressed the pain that happened to them. They haven't healed from it. So they've just kind of like repressed it. They've pushed it down and hid it in the shadows of themselves. And they pretend like it's not really there, only it is there, and it affects them. And pain has a message for you. Like there's something the pain is trying to tell you. Like for example, if I slam my hand on the corner of the table, that hurts, and the message of that pain is, hey dummy, don't do that. But sometimes you get mistreated as a child, and the pain is really there, and it's trying to tell you something, and if you ignore that, that message hasn't gone away. It's still there, and it's going to rear its ugly head and tell you things maybe that you don't want to hear, cause you to do things that maybe you don't want to do. Whether that applies to your person or it applies to you, I'm not sure, but pretending like something like this isn't there, that's like the equivalent of standing on the train tracks when a train is coming and going, I don't see the train's not there, it's not coming. It is coming, and it's going to turn you into hamburger meat when it hits you. But there's some element of toxicity here that's causing heartbreak and sadness and remorse and sneaky deceptive behavior in a column of cards that is about combining lives together. Final card for you, Virgo, is the Virgo Major Arcana card, the Hermit. Again, something happens to put you in hermit mode. This is the communication shutting down, withdrawal, isolation. If it's not shut down completely communication-wise, it's vastly different than it was. This is you being forced inside yourself to do some soul searching, to do some deep inner reflection and some contemplation, trying to figure out how to move forward here. What you're supposed to be using the light in the lantern, the star that's in the lantern, what you're supposed to be using that for is to look in the shadows of yourself and find all this kind of stuff that's going on inside of you, so that you can face it, and so that you can address it, and so that you can adjust these pieces of yourself so that you can move forward successfully. If this is a case where they have planted ideas in your head and these false limiting beliefs in your head that somehow the collapse of this is your fault, and it's not true. That you're not supposed to be looking at yourself and finding, how are you to blame? How are you at fault here? And what do I need to adjust about me that makes me not at fault anymore? It's not about that. This is about you finding the pieces of yourself in there that cause you to be controlled in situations like this, that cause you to allow certain types of behavior that aren't right to happen, and you just willingly accept those and sweep that under the rug and pretend like it's not there because you want this person and you're trying to get somewhere with this person. A lot of times this will be like, I've got my happiness tied to an external thing, whether that's another person or something else outside of you, when your happiness really comes from inside of you. This is usually what is going on in a situation like that. I have all of my happiness tied to this person, and then this person does some stupid stuff, and when they run off, they take my happiness with them. Tell me about the Hermit, please. Why is the Hermit here as the final card in Virgo's energy at the end of April 2023? This one is coming with us too. I don't read reversals, so whenever one comes out upside down, I just automatically flip it. I don't even think about it until I get screamed at, and I got screamed at on this one, so I'm leaving it in reverse. Bottom of the deck, Temperance, Sagittarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of patience. At its core, it's about blending two things together to create something new. It's also, at its core, about balancing something back out here. Now, this can represent like reconciliation energy, because in tarot, water and cups represent love and emotions, and here the love, the water, has been separated into two different cups, and the angel is recombining it back together. If this is telling me that you're in hermit mode right now, searching your soul, trying to figure out how to put this back together, only it's not your decision on whether it gets put back together. It's this King of Swords decision, which is some emotionally detached decision maker. They're not looking at things from the emotional perspective. They're looking at things just strictly what's right in front of me and what can I see. If this is talking about you being so focused inside yourself on what do I need to adjust about me so that this can be put back together, that's the wrong focus. That's another meaning of this card. It's about tempering yourself. It's about balancing yourself back out because something is misaligned, something is out of whack. It would be like you try to make a cup of coffee and you're not paying attention to what you're doing, and you accidentally put twice as much sugar in it as you normally would, and as soon as you take a drink of that, it's like, whoa, that's too sweet, I can't drink that. This would require you to pour half of that coffee out and put some new unsweetened coffee in it and rebalance that and make it evened back out again to where it's back in balance, and now I can drink it. This is talking about, that's what you're supposed to be in hermit mode for, is how to balance yourself out, not how to balance this connection out, because you're only in control of half of that. You can take care of your half of that. They have to balance their half of it. There's no way you can make them even themselves out, which means there's no way you can put in all the work, effort, and energy and all the change on you to put this back together, because it doesn't matter how much you change yourself. If they don't follow suit with that and adjust some things about themselves that are a little bit out of balance and distorted, it's still not going to matter. Yeah, I've got death right behind it. It's still going to be dead and over with. Now, another meaning to death, again, this is the Scorpio Major Arcana card. I've seen it twice now. Another meaning to this is there's some new blessing that's trying to come into your life, and it doesn't have room to fit because the space it's supposed to fit in is already occupied by something else, and the thing that's occupying that space currently is in fact already dead. You just haven't let it fall away yet to make room for the new thing, and until you do let that fall away, the new thing can't fit. This is also telling me that there's this underlying energy for you of wanting to balance it out and put it back together and reconcile, even though it's been killed by someone following their wand. Some passionate new beginning and passion and desire has killed this. Yeah, Two of Wands. This is Aries energy of, again, another decision. I see the decision not being made here, and this is really looking like you believe it's their decision. Like, you need to adjust yourself so that they come back, and you need to adjust yourself so they stop doing the stupid shit that they do. But that's not what this decision is about for you. What this decision is about for you is, what do you want? What do you want your world to be like? And which path gets you to the world you want, and which path doesn't, and therefore you have to leave that path behind. This is a spot where you have to choose your path now. What do you want for yourself? And you go down that path. You can't go down both paths at the same time. You can't get what you want and at the same time continue down the path with this type of a person, because you can't go down both of those paths. They don't lead in the same direction, and you can't turn left and right at the same time. It's not possible. Judgment. See, again, that's why this is your first card. You've got it in your head that it's their decision, and it's not their decision. It's yours. It's just not the decision that you think it is. Like, you think it's a decision about, are we going to put the connection back together? And that's not what it's a decision about. It's about, what do you really want? Now, when I clarify the Hermit, I get the Star, Six of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, and the Sun in reverse. Again, I don't read reversals. I grabbed this one and tried to flip it right side up, and it wouldn't let me. The Star, we've already seen it. The Aquarius Major Arcana card. Healing, hope. So I've got two cards here of you being inside yourself, searching your soul, trying to figure out how this can be healed, how it can be reblended back together, how this can be reconciled, and you having the hope that that's going to take place, as long as you can figure out what to adjust with yourself. Again, this is the card that comes after the Tower. I knew we had a Tower coming as soon as I saw this in the shared energy. And the very first column of cards for you, there's the Tower out there. This is sitting directly, this Star is sitting directly beside the 7 and the 8 of Swords, like the sneaky, deceptive behavior. You not wanting to be hurt anymore. You being stuck in your head about the sneaky, deceptive behavior. Being stuck in your head about trying to heal this connection. Being stuck in your head about limiting beliefs that don't really belong to you, that were put there by someone else. Now I've got the Six of Swords. This is more Aquarius energy. This is about moving forward into calmer waters. It's about leaving these rough, choppy waters of the past behind you and moving forward toward what you want. Moving forward toward the world that you want to create for yourself. Look, the way it's laid on the table, it's moving away from the Eight of Cups, or excuse me, the Five of Cups, this emotional pain, this mental, like, emotional anguish. It's the Tower in the same row. So like, this is, you're moving away from something very mentally and psychologically, and in this case also emotionally painful. It's about leaving that behind you where it belongs and moving forward toward what you want. But the woman and the child with all the swords that are stuck in the boat represent that you have a choice to make here. The painful thing has already happened. There's nothing you can do to change that. Your choice is, what do you do with that? When you move, you're moving forward into the future no matter what. Time is passing by no matter what. The future's coming and you can't stop it. The only choice you have is, as you move forward into the future, are you going to carry the burden that pain caused you? Right out here in the shared energy, the burden you're carrying. Are you going to continue to carry the burden that pain caused you into your future with you, and let that burden continue to weigh you down like it has already? Or are you going to leave that burden behind and carry forward into the future the lessons that painful thing taught you so that stuff never happens to you again? That's your real choice here. And I don't know that you see the opportunity that that provides you because of what you're focused on. You're still focused on the past. You're still focused on this person. You're still focused on the loss when the tower collapsed and the third party, or this sadness and painful emotional energy here, the past of the connection, something possibly that happened to you in the past that you haven't dealt with yet. Your focus is not in the right spot here, and that's why you're being pushed into hermit mode. It's to uncover that stuff for yourself. And I think you might not, I said at the very beginning of this that sometimes this Two of Swords, the decision isn't being made because someone's got the blinders on. Someone doesn't want to see something. They don't want something to be true, and they don't want to look at that, which is why the blinders are still on. Like this lady that's trying to choose between these two swords, she could easily lay a sword down, take the damn blindfold off, and now she could see both of the swords and have an easy choice, but she doesn't do that. She's choosing to leave the blindfold on. This Knight of Pentacles, it's the slowest knight in the deck. So sometimes this is like a really slow moving energy where I want this connection back and I want it back now, but it's not happening now. It's this slow drip, this slow molasses running down the side of the tree, like very painfully slow process that feels like nothing's happening, nothing's moving. Another meaning to this card is it's a person who knows what they're supposed to do and they're just not doing it for some reason. He's got the Ace of Pentacles in his hand, the seed of abundance, the seed that turns into that Ten of Pentacles that's in your energy that we all want. It's not the Ten of Pentacles. It's got the potential to get there. He's got the seed of all of that in his hand. But the fields behind him are empty. They're barren. He hasn't planted the damn seed. He knows he has it. He knows he's supposed to plant it. He just doesn't for some reason. And there's heartbreak and sadness tied to that. There's a third energy tied to that. There's a person from the past tied to that. There's also the history of the connection between the two of you tied to that. And the heartbreak from having lost all of that and still being focused on the loss of it all. And this is like screaming, like you already know that you're supposed to leave this behind. You already know you're supposed to move away from the pain and take the lesson the pain taught you forward into the future with you and not the burden. But you're not doing that for some reason. And that leads us to the Sun in reverse. This is Leo Major Arcana energy. This is the happiest card in the deck. It's happiness, joy, abundance, bliss, harmony. Like, you literally can't get a better card than that. But it's in reverse for you. This means there is a delay in your happiness. Something has turned your happiness upside down. It's sitting right beside this devil toxic energy. This is saying that this connection is toxic. This connection is not the source of happiness that you believed it to be. It's a source of unhappiness. It's distorted. And the longer you stay stuck in it, the longer you live your life without your true happiness. This is also a person who knows what they're supposed to do regarding happiness, but they're not doing it. And what's supposed to happen with happiness is you are supposed to realize that happiness comes from inside yourself. Like, my happiness doesn't come from an external person. Your happiness doesn't come from an external person. Not a single human being on this planet's happiness comes from something outside of themselves. We create our own happiness. It lies within us. And this is being trapped in that false limiting belief that this other person is where your happiness is, which is exactly what I said before. Then they can run off and do sneaky, stupid stuff, and they take your happiness with them. And what you're supposed to do here is figure out inside yourself, why is it that you don't already have happiness? Why is your happiness tied to an external person instead of to yourself? Because that is the reason why you tolerate some of the stuff that you tolerate and shouldn't. If you actually had your happiness understood the correct way and you actually knew your happiness was from you and not from them, you wouldn't tolerate the disruption that they cause to your life. You wouldn't tolerate the toxic behavior, the distortion that they create in your life. You wouldn't tolerate that. And this is the only cards where I could read all of this in rows until I get to here, and I don't have a complete row. I've just got the toxicity of this, the being trapped in this connection. The distortion of all of this leads to unhappiness. This thing inside of you that you haven't faced yet is leading to unhappiness. And then there's a void here. There's a void here, there's a gap, and the only thing above that gap is something from the past. So this is, again, is looking like you've had something happen to you in your past that has probably shaped your beliefs around what you're worth, about what connections are supposed to be like, shaped your belief about where your happiness comes from, and that has all got you a little bit screwed up here in this connection. Scoot this over and get us some more room here. That's part of the burden that you're facing. That's part of what you're not seeing. That's part of the information that's hidden from you. Now, another piece of it is definitely secrets being kept. And stuff was happening behind your back that you weren't aware of until a certain time when you did become aware of it. And that looks like it was done at the hands of your person. They probably put walls in between the two of you, walled themselves off, got very emotionally detached feeling. And as they've definitely hurt you again and created some sort of a burden for you. That's your energy in the connection. Let's take a look at your person's energy, because their first card is Strength. Their central energy is the Seven of Wands. And then the Eight of Wands is their final card. So again, I've got escalating energy. 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. This is definitely tied to them in terms of what was going on. Strength is the Leo Major Arcana card. I've got the other Leo Major Arcana card out here, turned upside down. All of their energy is fire sign energy right here. Like I said, this King of Swords that I saw twice is usually Gemini or Aquarius, but it does not have to be the person's sign. It could just be describing their qualities, and that they're cold and calculated and sometimes ruthless and sometimes just emotionally detached, and they are the one that has the decision-making power here. This is a difficult situation that is requiring a lot of internal strength to make it through that. This is about being forced to dig down deep inside themselves to tap into that internal strength. Now, the other meaning to this card is it can also be someone who's trying to tame that beast inside themselves. They're trying to rein themselves in and hold themselves back and not let something happen too quickly that they feel would be some kind of a mistake. It's trying to struggle against those internal urges that they have. I strongly feel like the devil is definitely talking about them, and at the same time, there's a piece of you that you're just not facing inside of yourself. But this is them struggling against those urges and drives and desires that they have. And usually, this is something that someone eventually runs out of willpower in that struggle, and they lose the struggle. Like, you can't tell me that that lady can hold the lion back for very long. At some point, the lion is going to overpower her. And that's probably what happened here. Tell me about Strength. Why is that the first card for Virgo's person, please? 2 of Cups just showed itself, went back in. Same with the 3 of Cups. It showed itself and went back in. Oh, gosh. Let's get one more. Why is Strength here, please? The Moon just showed itself and went back in. So 2 of Cups is a connection between 2 people. 3 of Cups is a third-party connection. The Moon showed itself and went back in. The Moon is the shared energy. There was some secret being kept about another person. Got Temperance underneath that. This is your person struggling against themselves, trying to even themselves out and balance themselves out, trying to be patient. Like, these 2 cards together scream forced patience. Like, I want something really bad, and the internal drives are yanking me in that direction, but I'm trying like hell to hold myself back and be patient with it. Now, this can also represent that this person, they're going through some difficult situation and they want reconciliation somewhere, whether that's with you, whether that's with a person from their past that they weren't fully over yet. Not sure. But this is feeling much more like patience here when they don't want to be patient. And the energy right under that is the Knight of Swords, this rapid forward moving energy. This is rushing forward, taking some very rapid, decisive action on something. This is not the person who comes rushing in to do something and then sits down to think about it or sits down to read the instruction manual. This is the person who doesn't think about it first. They don't think about it while they're doing it. They just do it very abruptly and suddenly, and they do it and they're out, and they don't think about it until afterwards. And that type of action taking is what led us to the death of this connection here. Ace of Wands. They were struggling against their internal urges to follow their wand, to that sexual energy, like King of Wands. You can't make that up. It's the pinnacle of the wand suit. This is either Leo or Sagittarius energy. You could be dealing with a Leo or a Sag here, or you could be dealing with an Aquarius or a Gemini, or hell, a whole bunch of different signs. But this person is very cold, calculated, detached, logical, and they're very driven and motivated and full of passion and full of desire. And they're not just driven and motivated in the general sense. They're driven and motivated by passion and desire and sexual energy and following the wand. And I think they try to struggle against that at times and fail, lose the struggle. When I clarify strength, I get 2 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. 2 of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. Overall energy is a decision that needs made and it's not being made. Well, here's another decision. This is a decision in the physical reality. This is like 2 tangible things that I'm going back and forth about. Like, do I or don't I? Should I or shouldn't I? Like 2 options I'm weighing the pros and the cons on, and I can't have both of these at the same time, and I gotta pick one, but I'm back and forth about it. I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out about it, and I'm emotionally off balance while I'm going through this I can't make up my mind routine. Negative side of this coin can be a person who is juggling 2 people. 4 of Pentacles, more Capricorn energy. Holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. This is also greedy, stingy energy of like, it's all mine and I want it all and I'm going to have it all and it's all mine, mine, mine. Like, it could be why I didn't make a decision here, because I'm juggling 2 people and I decide I'm keeping it all. Could be that this is a person that they have some sort of history with and they haven't fully let go of that person either, which causes them to juggle you and them at the same time. Knight of Cups is the final card to clarify strength for them. This is an action taker again. This is actions toward love and emotions, like moving forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures, trying to move forward with a love offer or move forward in a love connection, advance that in some kind of a way. 7 of Wands is their central energy, more Leo energy. This is an energy of being walled off and defensive about something. It's like these other wands represent external energy coming at them. So sometimes this is a person defending against other people and what they say and what they think and what their opinion is and what their actions are, and they're defending against that. Sometimes this can represent defending against accusations coming at them. Like, I didn't do it, wasn't me. Sometimes this is just an energy of someone who's willing to fight for what it is that they want, fight for what they desire, fight for what they believe in, what they feel is right for them. And then being very like cold and calculated and logical when they're doing that and not emotional about it. Tell me about the 7 of Wands. Why is that here? Central for Virgo's person's energy here at the end of April 2023, please. Taking an extra one this time. All right, we'll do that. Oh. 5 of Pentacles. I'm feeling like drained. I keep fighting off yawns. I'm not tired. I can just feel the energy getting sucked out of me once I got over to this side of the table. This is Taurus energy. Fives are conflict or change of some kind. This is abandonment. This is about being cast aside, being left out in the cold, being discarded. Sometimes this is an energy of feeling like I'm not good enough. This is a breakup card right here. Four of Swords. I said that earlier. I said sometimes this Four of Swords it's a breakup, but we're not officially labeling it as we're broken up. We're labeling it as we're on a break. That's what I'm feeling here. There's a breakup. There's this I'm on a break kind of an energy, but I'm also trying to do some thinking to figure out what to do moving forward from here, where to put the work in, where to put the time, effort, and energy in. This is Taurus, Libra, and Virgo. Virgo. Hermit. This is like, I'm thinking about where I want to put my time, effort, and energy in, and I'm not communicating with you right now. I'm putting walls in the way, and I'm defending against anything that's outside of what it is that I want. When I clarify the Seven of Wands, Four of Wands, Two of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Death. Four of Wands is Aries energy. Fours are stability. So this is stability of the home, stability of the family, stability of the connection. These four wands represent 1111, which is the number of manifesting. So this is a celebration of the thing that this person has been trying to manifest actually appearing in the physical reality. It's here. And they've been fighting for it. And it leads them to a decision that they have to make that they're not making here. This is sometimes I don't have enough info to decide, but at this point they do. The thing they want is here. The thing they've been off balance about is here. And this is them choosing not to decide on something because of greed, because of I want it all, because it's mine. This is almost feeling like I have a stable connection with you, but this other thing that I want has now physically presented itself to me. I have an opportunity in the physical world presented to me that would allow me to move forward in romantic offers and gestures, and I want to hold on to you and the stability I have, and I also want to hold on to this opportunity that has presented itself. Therefore, I'm choosing not to make a decision that I need to make, and I'm going to keep things secret from you about this opportunity that I have. I'm doing the cold, calculated, what's in my best interest decision, and I'm giving no concern to how that's going to make you feel, or how much pain that's going to put you through, or the kind of burden that you're going to carry here. I'm just going to keep it secret. I'm going to take advantage of my opportunity and move forward and take actions on that. I'm keeping it hidden, and ultimately that leads to death. That leads to this very painful transition period that we're in here that is a breakup. Final card for your person's energy here in April 2023 is the Eight of Wands, Sagittarius energy. This is very fast moving energy, second fastest energy in the deck. The only thing faster is the Chariot. The thing that's one peg slower than this is that Knight of Swords that we've seen already, that very abrupt decision-making, action-taking energy. This is very fast forward movement on something there's a lot of passion and desire for. It's very fast back and forth passionate communication taking place. It can indicate travel. It can also indicate a whole lot of energy coming all at one time where it's too much to process. It's overwhelming. And here I am fighting off the yawns again. Like this person, something's off. Why is the Eight of Wands here? Why is the Eight of Wands here for this person, please? Make sure nothing else flipped. Okay. Wow. Wow. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Swords. I just referenced that card when I said it's one notch slower than this Eight of Wands I'm at. I also said the only thing faster than this is the Chariot. I'm getting ahead of myself, but there's the Chariot and the clarifiers. If this ain't some fast moving energy, I don't know what it is. Very abrupt, decisive, like right now, spur of the moment. This has presented itself. I'm acting right now. I'm not even thinking about it first. Sometimes this card, you know, like the Knight of Wands, I told you, sometimes gets called the player of the tarot deck. Sometimes this gets called the narcissist. Especially when I'm seeing and feeling what I felt on your side of the table, where there's been these ideas put into your head that this is somehow your fault, and you're searching your soul trying to figure out what adjustments to make to you. This is definitely somebody who gaslights you, somebody who is like blaming you for what they do, makes it your fault somehow. I got Temperance here. There's a need for them to temper themselves, and they didn't do that. They just acted and thought about it afterwards, and then it's like, okay, maybe I should be patient here. There is no patience in this energy. This feels like a case where somebody's got the dog on the end of the leash, and the dog's pulling like hell trying to get to something, and they're holding it back. And the second that they let go of that, boom, that dog is coming at top speed. That feels like what's happened here. Like they struggled and struggled to contain themselves, and then suddenly, boom, bat out of hell, here it comes. This really is feeling like there is reconciliation here, but it's not feeling like reconciliation with you as much as it is them blending themselves back together with someone else. This almost feels like they had a person they were attached to, and there was a break between them and their person, and during that break is when you guys met and started a relationship, but then secretly what they really wanted was to get back with the other person, and some opportunity has presented for that to occur. Got the Ace of Cups here. If it's not that, it's a new beginning in love and emotions. It's one of the two. It might be one way for you and a different way for the very next Virgo that shows up. So be sure to leave me a comment and let me know how this reading resonates for you. But there's definitely rapid moving action in passion and in a new beginning, a new connection here. Yeah, the ending of a cycle, the beginning of a new cycle. The world represents the four fixed signs of the zodiac: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. It's the final card of the major arcana. It represents the ending and at the same time the beginning of the next cycle. Two of Wands. There's that decision, Aries energy, decision again. Which path leads them to the world that they want, and which path do they have to leave behind? The decision comes after the fact. Like the action comes first, and there is no contemplating until it's actually already begun. Something else has ended now so that the new thing can begin, and then there's the decision underlying all of that. And it's a decision at its core about what do they want their world to be like? What do they actually desire deep down? When I clarify this Eight of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, the Chariot, Strength again, and there's the Empress. Queen of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy. Although this can represent a feminine earth sign energy, doesn't have to be woman. We all have feminine and masculine energy in us. I'm every bit as capable of being the Queen of Pentacles as a woman is. I have full custody of my son. I love and nurture him and take care of him physically, and I'm the centerpiece of the home and the family life as it relates to him. So I definitely step into that Queen of Pentacles energy myself at times. But this usually in a reading for me will represent one half of the Ten of Pentacles, like half of the two people that work together as equals to build that Ten of Pentacles. I got the Ten of Pentacles central to your energy. That's the combining together of lives, whether that's living together or being married or going in that direction. This is half of the equation. like I said toward the beginning, sometimes it's not just the cards that come out, sometimes it's the ones that don't come out. That I haven't seen head nor tail of the King of Pentacles anywhere in this reading. I've got half of the equation, but not the other half. That tells me that they're not in it the same way you are. This is the person that's the centerpiece of the home and the family. I've got stability of the home and the family and the connection, but then I've also got this energy of balance being thrown off in some way and trying to regain it or trying to maintain that balance once it's been thrown off. It's possible that this person was married to someone before they got with you, and there is some revival of that connection, some opportunity in that connection here. Next, I've got the Chariot, fastest energy in the deck. So there's definitely very fast movement on their part. Like there's something that they've had their eye on and they've wanted, and then as soon as the opportunity presents itself, boom, bullet coming out of a gun fast in that direction. It's also, though, an energy that's telling me there's multiple pieces of them that are not pulling in the same direction. They're not all, their whole being isn't in alignment, pulling in the same direction. I've got that decision that needs made, not being made again, and this holding on tight to something I don't want to let go of here. It's possible that that's you and another person, hence that's why there's this overall energy of a decision that needs made and isn't being made. And there's that break. And see, again, I don't know if this is talking about you guys are on a break now, or if the way they were looking at that previous connection they were in, that they were just on a break. It's possible it could be either way. It's possible it could be both ways at the same time. But next I've got Strength, which is the very first card out here in your person's energy. Leo energy, again, though, this is that person trying to hold themselves back, trying to not go rushing off too fast and make some kind of a mistake that they regret. But I got all that fast moving energy in this. I'm trying to tame myself. I'm trying to tame myself from going after this opportunity, from moving forward in some love connection here. I'm trying to hold myself back, but I can't, and I lose that struggle because then I've got the Empress here, the birth of something new, or the rebirth of something that was dead. Or like I told you at the beginning when I saw death for you, another meaning to that is there's some new blessing trying to come in, but it has no room to fit because something is occupying the space it belongs in already, and the thing that's occupying that space is already dead. You just haven't let it fall away yet, and until you do, the new thing can't fit. This is really almost feeling like they had some powerful connection, or were married or something like that, lived with somebody that they felt this deep connection with, and they birthed something new even though that hadn't fallen away yet. And it's also possible that they have birthed something new even though the connection with you hadn't fallen away yet. But this whole idea of something new being birthed is definitely present. This whole idea of a secret being kept is definitely present. Them struggling against themselves to contain themselves is definitely here. An energy of like, in this connection of combining your lives together, you are present and they're not. There's toxicity here, there's heartbreak and sadness, collapse of a tower, happiness being tied to this person when it's not them that actually will make you happy. You make yourself happy, not any other external person. And it's either they struggled against themselves to not move forward and birth something new, or to not rebirth something, but they ultimately lose that struggle and just act upon it and do it. Now, if you still have questions you want answered about this situation or your relationship, click on any of the videos that just appeared on your screen right now. When you do, you'll be taken to more Virgo love readings that can give you more insight and more clarity about what's really going on in your particular situation, and I'll see you in the next video.